What's going on? Alex here from Natural Testosterone. And in this video, I'm going to be going over how to build an androgen dense physique. So let's get into it. So what is an androgen dense physique? So it's a physique that is high in androgen receptor density. It's a physique that women are biologically attracted to. So let me get into that. So there was a study done where they took pictures of men and they showed it to women, to a group of women. And the guy that was picked the most had high testosterone and high androgen receptor density. So women are biologically attracted to men with high testosterone, and that's androgen density. So the highest density you have in your shoulders, your upper chest, your upper back, and have a guess where women are dense as androgen receptors. So being their glutes. We as men are attracted to these areas because it's a sign of good health. It's a sign that she has good hormones. She can bear a baby. And for us, it means that we're healthy, we're dominant, we have high testosterone, and so on. So it's a physique that demands respect. If you're walking down the street, people will notice you because you're different. People will react to you. It's a strong, powerful, aesthetic, low body fat physique. So why is an androgen dense physique important? So it's going to obviously improve your confidence. If you're an aesthetic individual and you're different than everybody else and people are reacting to you, you're going to feel so much confident. You're going to have high testosterone, and it's just a positive feedback loop. You're going to be strong. So when it comes to training naturally, muscle is a byproduct of strength. So you have to get very strong and powerful, explosive. It's very aesthetic. It's pleasing to look at. So like I said, it's a byproduct of high natural testosterone, which comes with other amazing benefits. So with the androgen dense physique, other things come into play, like your energy, how you feel, just like well-being, high testosterone, assertiveness, confidence, and so on, calm and collective. So how does one actually accomplish an androgen dense physique? So in this video, I'm only going to be going over the two things. There's obviously more to this, but these are probably the 20-80, the 20% that will give you 80% of the results. So the first step is actually high natural testosterone. So I'm going to get into it more after this, and then strength standards. So let's get into it. So just to give you an example, well-known individuals, Jeff Seid, David Lade, and a picture of me. Just so I'm beware of false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they're ravening wolves. Do not listen to people who don't actually have results. Hence why I'm showing you results. I have an androgen dense physique. If you want some numbers, my deadlift is 280 kilos, squat 220, overhead press is 100, flat bench is 140, my incline bench is like 130. My shoulders are very strong. Yeah, these are the main ones. And like I said, muscle is a byproduct of strength. Then I don't know if these guys are natural or not. I don't really care. But they show a very androgen dense physique. Hence why they're so popular, because it's a pleasing body to look at. So you have the shoulders, the traps, the upper chest, and these are the main things. Like when a guy wears a hoodie, you can't really see their chest. It's like how wide they are and how big how much space they're taking up. So prioritizing how wide you are, your upper back, and so on. Same with this. Sweet. What's going on here? So high natural testosterone. So this is the first step. So you actually have to accomplish high natural testosterone production. You cannot accomplish high testosterone with TRT because there's more to high testosterone than just testosterone. There's DHEA, there's prolactin, there's estrogen, SHBG, free testosterone, like I mentioned, SABG. There's so much to it. So the first step is having good, you don't, when it comes to having it, like the higher testosterone is, the better. But when you're around 700 nanograms per deciliter, that's when the fun starts. Beyond that, it's mostly like the confidence, the assertiveness, and things like that. So 700 nanograms per deciliter, but that's not all. I've had clients come to me with 700 nanograms per deciliter, but they still experience low testosterone symptoms. The reason behind that is because their SHBG is high. So if you don't know what that is, it's sex hormone binding globulin, which binds to your total testosterone. And whatever is left over is called free testosterone. And the goal is 3 to 5% of your total testosterone is free testosterone. But in most cases, it's like 1%. And imagine if you go from not looking into testosterone optimization, but looking into optimizing your SHBG and go from 1% to 2%, you'll have double amount of results. So you need to pay attention to that. Then we have things like prolactin, obviously, estrogen in check, thyroid hormones, dopamine, serotonin, DHT. DHT is a powerful androgenic hormone that helps with the androgen density as well, gives you that hard look. But yeah, these are the main things. When it comes to actually optimizing testosterone naturally, you need to, I follow the NTLS method. So it's nutrition, optimizing your nutrition properly, eating the right amount of calories, your macronutrients are in place, you're eating in an anabolic energy balance. Then you're training properly, activate as much muscle possible in the shortest period of time while staying under your stress threshold. That's the second one. The third one is your lifestyle. So your sleep, stress is in place, and other lifestyle aspects, and then like social and things like that. And then lastly, intelligent supplementation to fix micronutrient deficiencies. Use adaptogenic herbs tactically to take you to the next level, and so on. And then here's just an example like of a client getting to 1,400, but that doesn't really matter. What I'm trying to get into here is now strength standards. This is going to be the most important part of this. So your strength standards is basically based on how much you weigh. If you accomplish this strength standard on this exercise, this particular muscle group, the primary mover of that exercise, is going to look like X. What you see these days is guys doing 20 different exercises for their chest and it doesn't grow. The reason behind that is because your actual strength, like when you go from benching 60 kg on incline bench press to 100 kg bench press, your chest, there's not a chance that your chest will not grow. And it's a clear indicator. It's an easier way to measure, because what gets measured gets accomplished. It's easier to measure and set goals so you can actually build muscle. Yes, you can still do volume and things like that, don't get me wrong, but this is a more predictable way of knowing what to do, because when you're doing a lot of volume, things like endurance come into play. Did you like there's a lot, like when it comes to like volume, like high, like a lot of reps and things like that, don't get me wrong, you can progressively overload in that aspect, but it's harder to progress with it because it's harder to track, it's harder to actually keep a control in place. And like I mentioned, progressive overload. So it's a like you don't grow from going into the gym the first day. What makes you grow is you come in the next time and you hit higher numbers. You come in the next time and you hit higher numbers. That's what causes growth. If you're a beginner to training, you may seen a lot of strength gains, but you have not seen muscle gain. The reason behind that is because when you start training, you're like the bar is shaking. The reason behind that is your body doesn't know. The reason why you're getting strong and building muscle is because the initial strength is actually your body learning how to perform the movement. You're getting better and actually firing neurons. You're firing your nervous system, and once that settles in, that's where the muscle gain comes into play. That's another thing. But Alex, if I just focus on compound exercises, I don't really feel my chest on the incline bench. You can do things like pre-activation exercises, for instance. You can let's say you're doing incline bench, you can do an isolation movement for your upper chest. So then when you come into actually doing the incline bench, you will feel it much more in your upper chest. You can do pre-exhaust exercises as well, which is basically, I don't really do it personally, but let's say you want to work your chest more, you come into the gym, you burn out your triceps, your shoulders, and then when you do the bench, your body is forced to use your chest only. But I feel like the pre-activation is so much more easier to do. So like I mentioned, muscle is a byproduct of strength. You need to be progressive overloading. You need to be measuring. Like, get a piece of paper, whatever. Get a piece of paper on your phone. I just use my app, like Keeps app, whatever, Evernote, whatever it is. You have your program in place. You follow it. Remember, always have a plan in place, because random action leads to random results. You don't want to be that guy that goes into the gym and looks around and does whatever comes into his mind, because you're only going to be doing things that are fun. What makes you grow is doing the things that you don't want to do and being disciplined and moving forward. So you have a plan in place. You did this workout. Next time you're doing that workout, you look back at exactly what you've done and you try to do more, the way you progressive overload, more reps or more weight. These are the two ones I focus on. Other ways you can progressively overload is increase the amount of sets, shorten the rest period, make the tempo longer. But these are, I rather keep these as control and just focus on reps and weight. So let's say, I was going to use the whiteboard, but let me explain it this way. Maybe I can use this. No, I'll just leave it. I'll just explain it. So how can you progressive overload? Let's say you're having a hard time to actually get stronger. So you're doing 100 kilos for incline bench press for 8 reps. The way you can progressive overload, it's hard for some people to come in the next time and hit 102.5 kgs for 8 reps. So the way you go about this is you do 100 kilos for 8 reps. Next session, you do 9 reps. Next session, 10 reps. Then the next time you come in, you do 102.5 kilos and you do 8 reps. And you work up the rep range. Once you hit the upper limit, you increase the weight, but you decrease the reps. That's one way. There's daily undulating periodization. There's concurrent periodization. There's reverse pyramid training, standard pyramid training. There's so many different ways. Just pick one and focus on this. 5x5. There's many different ones, but the principle is progressive overload. Next, why is actual low body fat important to have an aesthetic physique? You feel better. You actually see the muscle definition. The relative strength is improved. So I believe in you being able to. I was actually talking to a client and he was saying how he was talking to a prisoner and he hit the bench press record 260 kilos in his prison, and he was lean, he was shredded. So the goal is beating strong up bench press, but then being able to do weighted pull-ups with 60 kilos. That's very impressive to me, you know. But these days you see these big guys that bench a lot, but they can't even do a pull-up. So that does not make sense. So lower body fat equals less aromatase enzyme activity. Fat contains an enzyme, aromatase enzyme, which converts your testosterone into estrogen. Hence why you want to be in that low body fat percentage. It's more aesthetic, relative strength. You're more insulin sensitive. So your nutrient partitioning is improved. The food that you consume, your body actually uses it properly than being like sloppy, you know? Yes, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video and you got some value from this. That being said, I'll see you in the next video. So see you later. Peace.